Hey, how's it going, everybody? So, when you're browsing videos in the audio production world, they'll usually end up recommending a DI box like a Behringer or a Countryman, etc. And when you go and check out different shootouts, A/B shootouts of different DI boxes, they sound almost identical to each other, and there's really no difference between the two. And all it does is bring up the signal strength. So, any interface already does that. There's already that function built into any interface. And they actually tell you that in these demonstrations that a DI box is kind of superfluous. It doesn't really do that much. So what you really need is a compression pedal, though. This actually fattens up your tone and it gives you more sustain and allows you to use less distortion on the amp sim or on your amp when you're reamping, because it's going to fatten up the tone and give you more sustain. And that's like what you're looking for when you add gain to your amp. You're not looking for staticky noise, right? You're looking for just more. When you hold a note, it just goes forever, and you're able to do like hammer-ons and bends, and it's just you hear the note articulation. And that's where a compression pedal is. It covers all bases. It's gonna fatten up your DI track, and it's gonna act like a tube screamer, so you don't need a tube screamer because it has the tone knob here, and that's what you're looking for out of a tube screamer, right? It's just adding the clarity from a tube screamer just from the tone knob. So this is like a 2-in-1 pedal. I don't know why people use the tube screamer all the time when this has that function built into it, and it fattens up the tone. If you look at this waveform, you can scientifically prove that it increases the waveform size and the DI signal strength. So this is the same riff. This is without compression on the first one here, and the second one is with. And if you look at it, this one is like missing the whole bottom half. It's like someone took a big chunk out of it. And this one is like perfectly mirrored. It looks like it's perfectly in phase with itself. So it looks a lot like a healthier DI track, basically. And it's with this one, you have to control the palm mutes a lot more as well, because with this one, as you can see, the palm mutes are a lot more integrated with the rest of the waveform. But on this one, it's just up and down, up and down, up and down, and you're gonna have to compress the palm mutes. So yeah, it's just better for controlling the DI and getting a better signal, and it just gives you more sustain, and you're able to use a lot less distortion on the amp sim or on when you reamp your amp. So it's just you're getting more of the signal. You're boosting the signal from this, and you're driving that into the amp so that you don't have to use as much artificial distortion, and it just sounds clearer. And yeah, like here's an example. And I'll turn it off. I have to turn down the interface because it's going to make it clip. It's kind of like a dull, lifeless sound when you turn off the compression pedal. It sounds like very flat and dry. It's kind of subtle, but you have to listen for it. When I turn it on, so yeah, it just thickens up the tone and makes it sound a lot more lively. It adds articulation, it cleans it up, and it also balances the signal. It acts like a DI box in a sense, because any sort of guitar pedal will balance the signal. You're taking an unbalanced source and putting it through here, and acts as a buffer. So it's going to clean up your tone in that sense as well. It's just going to balance it out so it's a little bit more steady. But if you just look at the waveform, it just speaks for itself. It doubles the size. It makes it a lot more saturated, so that when you add distortion from the amp sim, it's just going to really add, you don't need much. Like, it's just going to really punch now. And I was watching a different video of a producer talking about why you needed a good DI, and really they don't really explain what a good DI means. And what it is having a super strong signal strength, having as large of a waveform as possible. You want to be almost hitting the roof if possible, but you just listen for little crackles and whatnot, and it'll tell you like when you have to stop. But yeah, you want as loud of a DI as possible before it starts crackling, and that's how you add the tiniest amount of distortion, and it'll really give you that Metallica kind of distortion sound that everyone likes. But yeah, you don't need to use that much when you use a compression pedal. You want to drive the signal before you hit the amp, and then let the amp just kind of do its thing with just powering that tonal source. And yeah, it'll just sound super clean and metal. So yeah, I recommend a compression pedal, and DI boxes are not that good. It's a waste of money, actually. You can get a Behringer. They use the same components, and it's about $40 online, $36. So if you're broke, you can get that. But the Boss one is probably going to be a lot better, and it's good for using just before your amp too. Like it's a multi-function tool. Like it's very good for DIs, and it's also good for actual use. And you can use it for vocals. You can use it for bass. It's a powerful tool. Buying a compression pedal, you can use it for a lot of applications. So that's everything. Have a great day. Thank you.